Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Balls Falls. It's got a nice ring to it. Anyways, I am not Bill Crane. Let's get that straight. But I am very thirsty. Tonight we gather and we celebrate the marriage and unification of one Benjamin William Crane to that of the beautiful, some may even say hot, Alexa Marie Nelson. Nielsen? Whatever, she's hot. Now, as we gather here, we are reminded that behind every marriage, there is often two very different stories, that of the bride and that of the groom. So before we celebrate their wonderful future together, I think it's imperative that we take a jaunt down memory lane. And grab a drink if we can too. Benjamin William Crane was born on January 31st, 1978, to proud parents Bill and Joyce Crane. Now, Ben had challenges right from day one. Yes, life for Ben was not easy. And soon after these infant years, a bitter sibling rivalry developed between Benjamin and his older brother Jason. Waiting for hand-me-down clothing often meant that Ben went years without anything to wear. And no matter how much Benjamin ate, he could never reach the physical dominance of his older brother. You see, as an adolescent, Jason was already a very successful leg model. Now, lacking his brother's sex appeal, Benjamin turned his efforts towards hockey, where he quickly excelled, which turned out to be a smart move. You see, Benjamin scored a record 37 goals in Major Adam and had 1 assist. He also captained his team to an OMHA championship. But wait a second. That wasn't Benjamin, that was me, but still very impressive. Ben, it appears by my notes, was actually a figure skater, and not a good one. He may have stole the show that day, but his figure skating career failed to blossom. And you see, a boy without a sport means a boy with a lot of time on his hands. And Ben spent this time dressing up as a girl. He was very good at that. Now, with Ben's preteen years eventually behind him, Ben faced new challenges. His pubescent years, did I say pubescent? Did I say that correctly? Ben was preoccupied with impersonating Matt Dillon.
'Cause Jersey just got colder and I'll have you know I'm scared to death that everything that you had said to me was just a lie until you laughed. Now I'm hoping just a little bit stronger. Hold me up just a little bit longer. I'll be fine, I swear. I'm just gone beyond repair.
Now, eventually, after years of impersonating Matt Dillon and that leading nowhere, Ben turned his efforts to academics, where it appears that he spent the better part of a decade acquiring numerous degrees in various disciplines. Yes, eventually Ben would follow in his parents' footsteps and become a teacher. Now, there are no good stories or pictures from this decade. It seems that Benjamin, well, locked himself up in a library. You see, the story of Alexa Marie Nielsen was very different. Alexa was born in Newmarket on April 11th, 1984, to proud parents Erica and John, and older sibling Little John. Now, despite all efforts to guide young Alexa, it became evident that baby formula wasn't going to cut it, and like so many other children her age, she took refuge in a different kind of formula. Alexa's parents were forced to banish her to a bush for several years. But Alexa would fight back from this, and in 1988, Alexa made a brilliant discovery. She was the first person ever to take a Polaroid selfie. But Alexa would rebound back into society, seen here whipping her body back into swimsuit shape. It was at this very pool party that Alexa almost met would-be husband, Benjamin Crane. But Ben was not allowed to swim in the deep end, and their paths would not cross for another 20 years. No matter, because by the late 1980s, it was becoming evident that Alexa was not interested in the male persuasion. She was more into cats. And her tomboy ways would have her playing baseball and fishing. Now, for fun, Alexa and her older brother, Little John, had a ventriloquist act that they would perform in Newmarket's red light district. Seen here, older brother John would dress up like a cowboy and have Alexa sit on his lap and pretend to be his puppet. However, Alexa would eventually develop a voice of her own, and she was making the transition into womanhood. And of course, she began to experiment with hairstyles, and she quickly became the laughingstock of Newmarket. But older brother Little John would step in to save the day. Now Alexa was a beautiful young woman. And it was about this moment in her life where she began to have this reoccurring dream.
Well, once there was a princess,
Was the princess you?
and she fell in love.
Was it hard to do?
It was very easy. Anyone could see that the prince was charming. The only one for me.
Was he strong and handsome? Was he big and tall?
There's nobody like him. Anywhere at all.
Did he say he loved you? Did he steal a kiss?
He was so romantic. I could not resist.
Yes, poor Alexa was living in a dream world, and she would have that dream over and over and over again. And Prince Charming would never show up. Not for many, many years. But just when Alexa had almost finally given up, the most romantic event happened. Yes, she and Ben would finally meet. And according to the story, it was October 20th, 2005. It was a chilly evening. And Alexa would meet Ben. And according to my records, they met at a bar. They met at a bar? You guys met at a bar? Tacky. But true. Anyways, the rest is history. Have a look.
Okay, this one's for Gabby. Them bloom for me and I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dare to, why, oh, why can't I?
Well, there you have it, folks. That is the story of how Ben and Alexa's lives have collided and now have become one. I think it's only appropriate right now that we take this time to toast the bride and groom. Please, if you have a glass, and I have very little left in mine, drink it. And I remind you of these words from one of my favorite books, Ben and Alexa. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with great care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. Congratulations. That's it, folks. Oh, just a second. There is one thing I actually did forget, and it has to do with Ben's bachelor party. Now, we did agree that we would not take any video footage, and I did not take any video footage. However, I did covertly obtain some security footage from the hotel that we stayed in after a long afternoon of drinking hurricanes. So, I'm not sure who's in the video. I'll let you be the judge.
When Jason was at the table, I kept on seeing him look at me while he's with that other girl. Do you think he was just doing that to make me jealous? Because he was totally texting me all night last night, and I don't know if it's a booty call or not. So, what do you think? Did you think that girl was pretty? How did that girl even get in here? Do you see her? She's so short, and that dress is so tacky. Who wears cheetah? It's not even summer. Why does the DJ keep on playing Summertime Sadness? After getting out of the bathroom, can we go smoke a cigarette? I really need one. But first, let me take a selfie. that. What should my caption be? I want it to be clever. How about living with my bitches, #live. I only got 10 likes in the last 5 minutes. Do you think I should take it down? Let me take another selfie.